A big data point this morning that is a great sign for Trumponomics. Welcome to the Big Money Show. I'm Taylor Riggs, along with my co-hosts, Lydia Hu, Lou Bassanese, Jackie DeAngelis, and with us for the entire hour, Forbes Media Chairman and Editor-in-Chief, Steve Forbes. Great to have you.
Good to be here. Thank you.
So the numbers out this morning, GDP blowing past estimates. The U.S. economy growing at 4.3% in the third quarter. That is the strongest pace in 2 years. That is major momentum heading into Q4. And it's not all just AI spending. Consumption is driving the surge as well. The president promised a big 2026, and this economy is running full speed ahead. All right, Steve, weigh in. You like the numbers?
One always loves numbers like that, and that's why you don't want to peel the banana, so to speak, more closely. That is, part of it is imports. We have this crazy way of measuring trade. When we import less, that's good for the economy. Import more, that's so-called bad for the economy. Crazy concept, but it was a solid report. However, I do think we have a bifurcated economy in the sense we have a lot of people struggling from paycheck to paycheck. They're going to have a good Christmas. But when you hear about 7-year, 8-year, 10-year loans on autos, that's not for a house, that's for an auto. You know that a lot of people are stretched. So that's why going into the new year, I hope the president gives us a Christmas present of what they call a reconciliation bill. That is a new tax cut, cutting tax rates, especially for middle-income earners, to keep this economy going.
Jackie, talk to me about, I want to do supply side and then demand side on the consumer as well. We got other numbers, factory production, as you measure that by industrial production, that increased slightly more than November as well. Production, the utilization rate, that's how you sort of measure what plants are being used. That also inched up unexpectedly. So that supply side looks like more factories are coming online, and that's good. Consumer spending, to Steve's point, was the main growth engine of this economy. That advanced at a 3.5% annualized rate. So it feels like, you know, most of the numbers in this report showed supply side is working, and then the demand side is also there to keep up.
That's what you want to see. That's the magic formula. We're only as good as the numbers that we have today. And so these are pretty strong numbers. And we've been saying on the program over and over again that it takes a while for Trump's plan to be able to kick in, especially on the supply side, the manufacturing side, with the onshoring of business and getting companies to set up new shops here to take advantage of some of the tax incentives that President Trump has said he wants to, offer to be able to bring production back home to the United States. And so I think we should be happy with this going into Christmas, considering the fact that the impact of the big, beautiful bill hasn't even been seen yet. We won't see it until people file their tax returns next year, and some of those bonus checks or those refund checks start, hitting people's bank accounts. I mean, my God, what do you want from one person to do in less than a year?
We want it all, Jackie.
To deliver.
We want it now.
I think it's pretty fantastic. I think the market is reflecting that. And listen, presidents do get lucky. Bill Clinton got lucky with the sort of dot-com boom and the golden age of the internet. I think that the AI aspect of it here is helping this president as well, certainly on the stock market side. But also remember, he's got a hand in that the Biden administration wanted to completely stonewall AI and let China get ahead of us. And this was a president that said, no, this is going to be good for our economy. We're going to beat China, and we are going to take the AI bull by the horns, if you will. And he has done that as well. So today, I see nothing wrong here.
So you mentioned two things I like, AI and profits. Lou, I'm coming to you on profits in a minute. Lydia, let me come to you first on some of the AI numbers that we got in here as well. Business investment expanded at a 2.8% rate, driven by another strong quarter of outlays on computer equipment. Investment in data centers, like AI, climbed to a fresh record. Non-defense capital goods shipments, including aircraft, which feeds directly into the equipment investment portion of GDP, much stronger than expected, also indicating momentum into the fourth quarter. So there is some capital investment happening, and it's AI data centers. Some of the concern has been, okay, but without AI data centers, there's no other spending going on. How do you read that?
Well, I think that this is really good. We need those AI data centers, right? Because if we don't have the energy to power that next wave of AI innovation, then how are we going to get to where we need to go? I think one big question that's on everyone's mind is, what is AI doing to jobs? That's the other big piece of this puzzle. And so far, it seems, yes, we've had some kind of rejiggering. We've had some headlines about some layoffs, but I think we'll talk about it a little bit later in the program about how maybe that's a little bit overblown, that maybe the job situation is not quite as dire as what we might expect. One thing that I did want to comment on is the consumer confidence, if I may, that also came out today. That is telling us that folks are feeling a little bit squeezed, at the moment during this holiday season. They've got some questions about the direction of, the economy and how their pocketbook is going to fare in all of this. What I would say is that this GDP number that we got, so positive, such momentum, really tells us where we're coming from, maybe an indication of where we're going, and maybe that should give some folks a little bit more confidence about where they're headed. Wait for the energy prices to continue to fall, wait for that benefit to your pocketbook, and also wait for the taxes, the tax returns that are going to give you a boost in the coming year.
So also in this GDP report, we get a measure of corporate profits, Lou, and that's where I go to you. Corporate profits rose 4.2% in the third quarter, the most this year. A measure of after-tax profits for non-financial firms, a proxy for margins. It's tightened this year, but it's well above levels that prevailed from the 1950s all the way to the pandemic. So this looks like also companies, profit margin stocks, the S&P 500, are benefiting as well. Your
earnings
thoughts?
ultimately drive share prices, right? And we're seeing that happen in the market right now. If you look at this, I'm not surprised, though. Last quarter alone, S&P 500 profit margins were about 13.1%. We haven't had that. But I see a headline like this. I'm like Jackie. I don't see anything bad in it. I want to look for the anomaly, right? And I go into the data, and you look at personal consumption, right? That spending. Were there one-time purchases that boosted this number? No. It was actually non-durable goods that accounted for the majority of it. Defense spending up 5.8%. The one thing that's interesting to me, I got to give Larry Kudlow kudos, because he's out there saying we could get to 5% GDP growth in 2026. Here's the thing. Residential real estate investment was down 5.1% for the second quarter in a row. It dragged total GDP down 0.2%. If we figure out real estate, add that back, now we're at 4.5%, 5%, it's attainable. So, you talked about consumer sentiment. I think sentiment lags reality, right? People say something, but they do differently. They're spending. Could we get more money in their pockets in 2026? I think that's the president's main goal, and it's going to happen.
But Steve, weigh in on that, because the previous administration did have a real problem heading into the election when they kept saying how you feel is not real, because you are telling us in 2024 you don't feel well, but GDP looks great. And so I heed the warnings when Lydia brings up consumer confidence and says people are spending, but they don't feel good. How does that translate into politics, especially in midterms in 2026?
Before getting that one warning signal, and that is if these rates keep up, the Federal Reserve is going to start talking about, is the economy going to overheat? And they're going to want to suppress economic activity again. That's why we've got to get a new head of the Fed and realize prosperity does not cause inflation. Cheapening the dollar causes inflation, which the Fed is doing right now. In terms of sentiment, people still go to the supermarket. Yes, eggs have come way down, but a lot of other items are still inching up. Healthcare still inching up. Most employers now, when they have their healthcare plans, no more dollar for dollar. You're paying more out of pocket than ever before. So people feel that more than ever before. School costs are not going down.
Right.
So in a lot of things, they feel, he says inflation's not there. We're still seeing higher prices. So that reality has to get fixed. They've got plenty of months to do it. So people are leery, which actually is a good bullish sign.
And weighing on that, Jackie, but also if the team can pull up yields, the 10-year yield is reflecting that. Yields were higher on this report as they were trying to figure out, does this mean no rate cuts? Does this mean some of the PCE numbers did look like inflationary if we're going back up to 2.9%. So is this, so now we're back to being unch on the day. So the bond market has calmed down.
Right.
But you try to follow that as well for advice on how the market is trying to understand inflation in the Fed?
I think the market is taking its time. We've looked at this 10-year yield. We look at it pretty much every single day, and it's bouncing around in the range. It's not doing anything that is alarming to me, saying the bond market is thinking something that consumers aren't, or that the market is not seeing either. As long as it kind of stays under that 4.2% range, I think that it's fine. But I want to go back to this, how people feel sentiment, because I think it's really important, and it impacts elections, and it's going to impact the midterms that are coming up. But while I don't discount how people feel is important, and I don't think gaslighting like the Biden administration did was by any means the way to do it. And I don't think the Trump administration is gaslighting. I think they're saying we have some serious problems. The president said this in his address at the White House. We've got some serious problems. I'm tackling them in a methodic order. I haven't gotten to everything, but I'm going to continue to work on this. I've got 3 more years to go. And so I'm working for you. But people are a little irrational about it. We all are. If you get into a fight with your spouse, you see it from your point of view, right? That you did the right thing and the other person didn't. And so I think that's sort of what happens in elections. And if you look historically, it's kind of how the pendulum swings, right? You have Joe Biden's administration. People got fed up with all the green spending, all of the open borders, so many blunders, foreign policy blunders that were made. And so President Trump gets voted into the White House. And now we're still dealing with some issues. And so what do we do? The first thing people try to do is point a finger at somebody because they're frustrated. And so when we look at UMich, when we look at all of the numbers and the reports of how people feel, I always say to myself, you've got to kind of take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. Not to say that it won't impact the midterms, but again, that's that pendulum swing that we've continuously historically seen.
Well, we have another, 9, 10, 11 months to get to midterms. So we will continue to follow this story as we go next year. Pop quiz. We change gears here. Pills or shots?
Oh, pills.
Lou?
Pills.
Neither.
Either.
Neither? I'm 0 for 2 here. Let's take a look at shares of Novo Nordisk. You guys, the FDA has approved a pill for their form of Wegovy. Lou, I'm going to have you take over while I cough. It's giving them a head start over Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly is waiting for FDA approval.
Eli Lilly is waiting for their FDA approval here. This is obviously patient compliance. It's contagious. Patient compliance is the big key here for weight loss drugs, right? Is everyone going to take their weekly shots? The pills are not as effective. If you think about scientifically, something that you have to digest in your system reduces the amount of dosage that gets to you, but they're effective enough. They're helping people. So I think you'll see both a combination. People that just can't take shots will take the pill.
But is Eli Lilly behind?
No, Eli Lilly's not behind. I'd argue I'm a Eli Lilly shareholder here, so I'm bullish on this. But Novo Nordisk trades very cheaply at about 13 times earnings. So people love this as a value stock. They were the first mover in this GLP-1 market. This is not about a single drug. It's about a single theme and story that's going to expand. So great on Novo Nordisk to get to market first with this. I think you'll see people transition off of Ozempic and Wegovy after weight loss into the pill because it's easier to
I disagree. So I've actually seen the shots. They're really easy. They sort of just go into this little fat spot on your stomach there. The needle is not that big. They're very, very easy to do. And so if they're more effective in injection form because it's released into your bloodstream versus digesting a pill, I don't know why you would want to necessarily take a pill. And for those who do care about things like going through your kidneys processing and whatnot.
Some people, they're using this now coming off. Like Eli Lilly last week announced their pill being used after Ozempic or Wegovy or Zepbound. So it's just a
more
transition.
maintenance.
More maintenance. After you've lost the weight, it's an easy way to keep that down without having to, and it's once a week, once every other week.
So if everyone takes these pills now, what's that going to do to food prices? Isn't that going to reduce food demand?
It should plummet. They should plummet.
We should say that Eli Lilly has said that they're waiting for FDA approval. They're looking at getting their pill version approved in March, so they're not too far behind Novo Nordisk, who got theirs late yesterday, I believe it was. All right, let's take a big moment. Lou, you've been named, I believe, a Fox Business contributor. We're so happy to have you as part of the Fox family.
No, just an honor. It's kind of surreal and just thankful to be part of the team here.
Aw, we're glad to have you.
Great to have you.
We let you sneak in somehow.
Yeah.
Just kidding. We're happy to have you.